We are the Towns. And this is 10 o'clock talks. Please stand by. Please stand by. We are the Towns. And this is 10 o'clock talks. Please stand by. Please stand by. We are the Towns. Well, good evening. Good evening, everybody from Studio 10 o'clock talks. We appreciate you. Appreciate you very much. Yeah, a lot of big news out there hitting hard today, huh? We're going to give us just a minute to start sharing. Hope you like the intro. I used to use it a lot, and blessed be our founding forefathers. Yeah, they would be in an uproar right now. They truly would. Let me just make sure we're hitting live out there everywhere. Once I hit this button, I'm ready to go here. I know everybody's kind of like on an alert from what I'm hearing. Let's see. Let me get here. Yeah, we are live. We are live. Okay. It's not registering everywhere. I apologize. It's not registering everywhere. Again, Studio 10 Broadcasting. I'm the host, Michael Anthony. 10 o'clock talks, America in crisis. And today does come with a sad crisis, doesn't it? Pentagon releasing Defcon warnings to the United States. False explosions. Hey, listen, man, I say a lot of things. I truly do, but validation out there on many of the things that I said, it's we're living it. We're now in that place, a different place. What will Joe do? What will Joe do? Can we trust Joe with the button? Can we trust him? Could Joe create a false narrative, a false flag event just to give provocation with no warning to Russia and send something there and put us into a catastrophic mess? These are things we have to think about, and please make remarks to anything you feel that you need to. Your voice is everything. America is in crisis. I brought that forth for a reason, and here it is. When we have alerts and warnings that say DEFCON, there is an issue. Can we trust this administration with an issue that has interest in Ukraine as usually as it does? I think not. I think not. There's a contamination there. There's one here in the United States. They match. Who's Joe in bed with? Why would he not try to protect? Why would Joe not try to help the depopulation method plan of the Agenda 30 pursue even a little faster? And we're in that place. We really are. Joe, question mark. Joe Obama. Joe Obama. Well, hey, look, this isn't about laughs and giggles, shits and giggles here tonight. Anytime there is DEFCON, there is an issue. Yes, we've had other issues before. The problem is, look with what we are dealing with. Look what we are dealing with. It's impressively sad, beyond words. Beyond words. Defense Secretary fired 47 troops for refusing the vaccination today. Another issue of problem and insight in America. The fourth shot has been found to be tainted within the red states. Get that. 30,000 turkeys destroyed in Pennsylvania. Listen, what isn't contaminated? What food isn't contaminated? So many things, so many narratives, so many issues. But getting back to just for a moment, Putin versus Obama. I don't like to say this with any type of ease. Hey, Jeffrey, how are you, brother? there's no easement to saying that we have an administration will probably set up our own catastrophic start of events. I don't think it's in Putin's place or mindset to harm citizens of any country in this world. He's on a mission. The mission, we kind of already know the narrative of how that fits and why he's doing what he's doing, and he wants no part. He wants no part of this new world order and more. Anyway, let me say hello here. Some quick hellos. Randy's on, Jeffrey's on, Mike's on, April and Jess, always very welcome. Beth McCord, Nancy Vincent's on. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, a few people. That's fine. That's fine. And everybody knows already. So I want to just say this to the watchers out there. Call me through Messenger if you want to get on and talk to me. Let's talk this Defcon thing. We are in warning. We are in warning, and it saddens me. And we cannot trust these elites that we have who are running our administration in the White House for sure. By no means. This is about world dominance, and world dominance of more than just America. More dominance than just open borders, loss of liberties, safety, lives, lands. It's bizarre, and it's all true. Beware of the aerosol deliveries and weaponry systems. And it's more than just aerosol. It's more than just aerosol weaponry systems, although I'm going to share a little of that to you in this segment tonight. Also, beware of new plagues, new viruses. We are now in that point. Defcon, America fits the crisis. That was created, truly was created. I swear to you on this, because I knew we were headed into a much worse scenario. And anybody that knows me knows I've always said, believe in the unbelievable. Well, here we are. New plagues, new lights, 5G plus G, if you know what that is. If you don't want to be a part of this, then you must stand stronger. Did you know that your phone could be a weapon, just like a gun? That was pointed out to me today. Our phones are weapons, and we didn't even know it. The weapon against them is how we can use that phone to protect ourselves, our own well-beings, and anything that we see is unlawful. You record it, and that becomes a weapon to them, and it really does. It will protect you. And remember to use your phone wisely. Don't make rash decisions. Do it within safe distance. But the point is, you can make your phone work and be just as strong as a gun without firing a shot. Never forget that. That's how you'll have to fight them. Expose everything. Anything you see out of place. Keep this awareness of everything. Post everything you record. Share it. Kathy's in, Nancy's in, Mary's in. Hello, hello, hello. You all know about Defcon, right? Everybody knows about it. It's mind-blowing. The most sad part again, and I don't want to keep repeating this, but certain people will just come back into the room. And if you don't know who I am, this is Studio 10 o'clock Talks. I'm Michael Anthony, the host. I have guests here and there when people can get in. Hello, Kathy. How are you? The biggest worry that we really need to lay out on this platform right now, and this is a huge platform, is the fact that we can't trust our own government in the United States of America, and they could cause events to make things seem like their decisions would be rational for what they may or may not try to do. Never forget who is in that office, who does have the control of that red button, who has control of the red phone, and who can use it. I don't trust this administration and the White House. None of them, by any means. I just don't trust them. And I think that they will do anything it takes. It doesn't matter if the shots don't work and get you. If 5G doesn't help them, they'll come up with more creative things. And I think this is an event of awareness. And I remember this. We've always talked about this repeatedly. And we really have spoken about this a lot. You know, your awareness is everything that's important. Nothing else matters. But remember the facts that we talk about, that we've discussed on this platform with me here, and what it all means. Where safety lies, where trust lies. And that's with us, within our own party, the Patriot Party of the United States of America. And we need to stay focused in there and just try to outreach for betterments through us, through our strengths, because we cannot trust our government. It's a total failure. They collapsed the economy, the oil lines, jobs, 11.5 million jobs. And now a narrative of depopulation that is failing in one side. They will look for success on the other, no matter how it comes. And you can't not in any way trust them to where they will not make it look like we never fired the first shot. It came at us first. And this is my biggest worry, truthfully, about Biden and what the capabilities of this Milley and this new administration. The red phone, the red button. These are things that we need to worry about hugely now. Truly do. Truly do. All right. So I got some open lines here if anybody wants to call in through Messenger. I'll take your call in if anybody wants to talk. If not, it's perfectly fine. I get it. I also want to remind you of something where this is parts of where this has all come from. A lot of people may not know this. There's a man named Prescott Bush, and had to do with Germany, Nazis, donating to the cause, we'll say, world leaders. And yes, it has in fact to do with everything of Papa and Junior Bush. And where did this all start? History started there. It really did. That was part of the main focus of the history of where we are now in this new world order. Remember, Papa Bush, his own statement, we must have a new world order alliance. And that's what they're stretching for. That's what Russia is against. Russia is not there. 1 second. We got one calling coming in. Okay. April and Jess, hey, go ahead. Where are you calling from, guys?
Hey, buddy. April and Jess here. Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick, I'm seeing a lot of psyops going on with like false information and disinformation on Facebook and other platforms, plus the news. And you just mentioned the nuclear threat?
Yeah.
Who put that out?
Pentagon.
Was that the Fox News? The Pentagon did. Okay.
Yeah, it's a rebuttal to evidently this somewhat of a statement that Putin brought up. So in retaliation, Biden contacted the Pentagon and the military, and they activated Defcon warning. I could send you a couple things on it when I get offline.
So, as we stand right now, does that change? That would be wonderful. I wanted to ask a quick question because I work in a federal kind of facility.
Okay, you don't
like how everybody's going to like enter the building.
Would it change how everyone enters the building? April?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Is that like gonna change like the whole how you enter the building?
Oh, okay.
Situations,
Well,
or is it not gonna affect anything like that?
I'm sure Homeland Security would jump into this somehow. There may be some changes in elements throughout government offices. I would assume that would be a good safety procedure as long as they're not violating anybody's civil rights or right to work. Can I honestly say, from what I know and how things are done, could I be 100% positive? No, I couldn't be, because we're working in a regime that makes up their own rules and laws as they take each step into every day. April, you know that. This is what we're fighting. My biggest fear, though, is when you make an announcement like that and you feel that there's terroristic plots on both sides now. Them making statements out of Russia versus now the Americas making statements out of our militaries and White House administration. There's issues there, but the issues that are bigger in America. How many false flags and how many other narratives have we already focused on, lived through, and seen, like 9/11 and more? These people stop at nothing. Look, let's take the plague for instance. I mean, they started this plan, and they're still narrating around it. Even today, there was more news on a fourth shot, and in the red states, it's now being reported that some of these vaccinations were tainted. So they're already changing the method of the vials and what's in them. I mean, you might as well say that what aren't we going to face in this lifetime, April? We're not just going to have COVID. We're going to have probably AIDS. I mean,
Oh, I've seen birds drop out of the sky.
Yes.
I've seen mosquito piles climbing, up mountains of mosquitoes. It's crazy. But I was just asking, like, if it's going to affect, like, the entrance into our country or entrance into, like, a federal facility. Is it at that Defcon level, or is it just like is there a subdivided, orange, red situation where nobody see this effect? So I saw the difference, but I didn't see an effect at my work.
Right. Well, I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure Homeland Security is going to have to come out with something when you go into a warning such as this. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to watch everything, and but you brought up something really interesting. Will they watch our borders now? Truthfully, I mean, we're in a whole different criteria level here.
My guess is no, but
well, your guess is probably right. But genuinely, you would think when one is being manipulated in the art of war, you must take every precaution to protect the citizens of your state, and which reflects to us, the America. Is Biden ready to do that? Is he ready to stand up, grow a set, and act like a president? And
no, he's not.
No, if anything, he's going to attack Russia, and he's going to make it look like we were attacked first. Something will happen in America, which will then say, pick up the red phone, hit the red button, and then we're going to have a catastrophic event that nobody wants to see. But I always said, believe in the unbelievable, because I knew it would come to something. America in crisis was not because it wasn't, because I truly foresaw pieces falling into place. It was just, when will it happen and how fast? Well, both I said both things equal the same. But nevertheless, I mean, here we are in this place, April, and it's sad. But we cannot trust our administration, and we should probably right now really take heed to protect ourselves and make sure your essentials are in order, and be ready for anything at any given time.
We are.
Oh, I know. I've seen you around the Facebook world, and
need to know when.
well, here I can tell you this much. I can't talk about anything that would be on this level, but we have a way to get things out to everybody, and I don't think we're at that place. But look, you know, uh, I try to put things together the best I can that are factual and truth,
Yeah.
and talk on them the same as you would when you're sharing with friends. You want to get the important facts out that have truth behind them. I can't do that here, but I'm still waiting on some information, just as we all are. And I think we may be able to read between a couple lines. The problem between them lines, that gray area that exists everywhere that we deal with, is, in my mind, where we need to worry about. And that's the inappropriate actions of our own government, because they will cause this. They will make this
Well,
bigger than it
I've
needs to
understood
be.
that for the past 2 years. Yes. I mean, yes. And I've tried to pass forth my information, whatever. I'm trying not to pass forth false information or opium, but like, yeah, stuff needs to get out. But I mean, I appreciate you taking my call, though, buddy. That was awesome.
I want to take everybody. Hey, listen, it's not about me. If you think, listen,
It's about getting the information out.
yeah, it's nothing. I have fun doing some things on platforms that I do, but this is not fun to have to share things that are this sensitive. However, it's important if things are necessary to share, because we got to protect children and the elderly and more. And we don't know their plan, their big plan. We do know parts of the agenda of why Russia and Ukraine are where they are. The problem is that our government is so invested.
Oh, why? I think I know what's going on with the Russia-Ukraine situation.
Mm-hmm.
Still
Do you?
wasn't my because my husband's in there right now on the Fox News channel.
Okay.
And so, like, I have to walk by and just, like, walk by. He's sleeping, mind you, but I think it's osmosis going on in his mind. I'm like, hoping God he doesn't wake up fucking started. But anyways.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, there's a lot to worry about.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I know, and
Yeah,
and it's social anxiety, social disorder, and it's fear. And remember, these are the elements of that create the divide and create the sickness that
Yep.
comes in different ways for us. And all you can do is, protect yourself the best you can and be as positive as you can. Uh, again.
Okay, one more quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
I have like $10,000 of savings in my savings account. Should I pull it all out, or should I just let it sit in there?
That's the other thing too. I've always spoke about finances throughout, off and on. Let me tell you something. I'm hearing that people can't even get their money out of the bank right now. I've had that shared to me. I'm in a different place than you, and I'm in fear for it, because I worked my whole life to do what I did, accomplish what I've accomplished, and I am in fear of it. I would say, at their will, paper money can be worthless. Okay, at their will, we are at basically at the will of this administration. Um, I would suggest anything that you can get your hands on, truthfully, do it. Don't advertise it. Take every precaution that you can, and feel good about how you do it. Because I think your money in your hand is going to be much safer than in the bank. Okay. And I'm trying to just go slow here to make sure.
Cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you, I'd need to make a lot of trips to do that. And the thing is this, I was told by a bank official that I did know, that people were calling it advance, talking to a bank representative and telling them to order the money from the Fed so they can come and get their money, because everybody put it in cash. They want it back in cash. and they're always being told that it can't. We'll give you a certified check. Well, that's because you can't do nothing with the certified check if you want to break a 20 out of it.
I had a hard time pulling $200 the other day. That's what my question
derives
from.
They're trying to control. Yeah, this is the reset, sweetheart. You're already in it. We've already started the reset.
I know that. I'm trying to guide my whole family through this whole thing. I'm like the freaking captain here. Nobody else understands what the heck's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to stockpile the cash or whatever. I don't know.
No.
All right. I'll let you go, buddy. I don't want to keep you.
Listen. Wait. Don't hang up. Let me be just a little bit more direct. All right. Since you're trying to do something that's going to actually protect others close to you and your family, get it out as fast as you can.
Okay. And do what with it? Like, put it in the safe. That's it.
That's all you can do. And hope that money means something in 6 months.
Exactly. That's what I'm concerned.
Yeah, because if we go to war, we go to martial law, and executive orders will stop us from making a lot of movements.
Right. Well, I'm ex-military, so my money's basically in USAA, which is basically probably mother-fed, according to what I can understand.
Right.
It's like the United Globalist and money holder for ex-military people. So, yeah.
Well.
And I had more money enough to pull it all out and just put it in the safe.
Well, take everything up at $100. And listen, the Fed's not exact. You know how the Fed tells you your money's secure up to $250,000. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. You'd be lucky to get 20% of your money. Recrew it back, honestly.
So I'd be better off pulling all my money out, putting it in my gun safe, right? Is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, bury it. Do something where you feel confident
Just
it is.
in case.
The rest of our life, you're going to be in case, at least for the next 3 years.
All right.
It's going to be a disaster, and it could come in different levels, different waves. But when we have an urgent warning like this, it puts us in a different placement. Yeah. I don't have the answers for everything, but I'm like you. I am worried about mine. I'm not going to lie to you. I am worried about mine, and I think everybody should worry.
Did you pull yours out except for $100?
I worked on it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's too much is too much. I want to respect your privacy, and anybody that knows you, I don't want them to really know about what you have either, or where you might put it. And
let's just say it's like $12,000.
No, okay, but still,
off of for
Yeah, I know, but now your neighbors know in some cases.
They don't.
You know what I mean. And the point is, privacy is everything, and protect yours.
My question is, if I keep it in the bank, is it just going to vanish? Because it was like an inheritance, and I don't want it just to go away.
It's happened before in the Great Depression, and people got pennies on the dollar during that. Right. So the possibilities are possibilities, okay, but anything could happen. Remember, these elites are the banks.
Right. I know. Yeah. I know.
Hey, man, I'll be thinking about you. You and Jess, I promise.
I appreciate it. Thanks for taking my call, buddy. Thank you.
All right, sweetheart. Bye. Have a great night. Thank you. Well, okay. Anybody else? Get on board. Get on board, man. All right, we got Rich Lopez calling out of California or Arizona. I'm not sure where he's at tonight, but welcome in. I was kind of like waiting on you, brother.
Looking around on the internet with so many other people, you can see that there's a lot of people very confused.
All right, do me one favor, Richard. Richard, get as close to the phone as you can, brother.
Okay. Take it off speaker here. Is that a little better?
I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try to PAUN. All right, talk for me. Yes. All right, I got you. Okay. We got a call coming in from Richard. Actually, and he has a lot of information on a lot of things. He has been on the show before, so welcome in, Richard Lopez, AKA.
AKA, right. Well, bouncing around on the internet today, I noticed a lot of people very confused about a lot of things, and I'm just going with my gut feeling of, how I see things, but I think that there's a lot of people who feel the same way as me. We look at Ukraine right now, and the news here is screaming, oh my God, they're going into Ukraine. We got to help the Russians. The Russians are evil. Well, I don't really see it all like that. I mean, Putin is fighting the globalists that are in Ukraine.
Right.
The globalists are in cahoots with the Dems, which are the enemies of the patriots.
Exactly.
So, it's a tricky thing. Now, we've heard a lot of talk about the pedophile rings, the underground smuggling of children in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Putin's going after that crap.
Yeah, they were all strategic. They were all placed to be hit. There was
right.
Yeah, it was all brain thoughted out. I get it.
And then we know that they have these skinhead neo-Nazi groups over there.
Who they're feeding guns to.
Right, our enemies.
Yeah.
And I say our enemies, guys, because remember, soccer moms, people that believe the election was frauded. We are a domestic terrorist group now.
Oh, something even bigger, dude. I don't even know if I got a chance to tell you. I was named out on a platform as a conspiracy terrorist.
Oh my gosh, they're already labeled. See?
Yeah, they love me. You know what? It just means that the things that you and I did is now coming to validation. And we talked about this. It's not that we didn't fear warn. American crisis was the whole fact of believing the unbelievable. We're going to walk into it. Now here we are. But you're right. I want to just comment back. They are supplying guns to like groups that we would call on the same equivalents to like Antifa in America. But these are gangsters. Russians were not even 10 kilometers from the areas of all the actions last night, yet that was going on. And there's rapes, there's thefts, there's burglaries. They're holding people up in the streets. And it created chaos. And this is what you expect it. You really do. You expect it.
War is nasty. A lot of bad stuff comes of it. But if we had, let's just take an example, if we had China sitting right on our border here with Mexico, pushing arms and, and pushing them, we'd be freaking out, right? So, the Russians got to feel the same way. And from what I hear, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm just going to tell you, because this came out of the words of Putin's mouth, they don't want the Western, how to put this very gently, but the way that, like for instance, the West, the culture believes that there's, 20. They don't, the mom and dad family there, they take it as a threat, which I agree. I think that a lot of us patriots feel that that's a threat. Wokeism. Yeah. So I think that this is right on their border. And remember, half that country is Russian.
Right.
So there's not everybody. Well, they're resisting and they need help, and they don't just need our arms; they need a military intervention. We got no business over there. And as the show says, we are at now Defcon 2. So for the listeners, I did miss part of the beginning of the show. Michael, you probably know it better than anybody. Number 5 is peace. And as you go down further, number 1 would be the end of the world.
Right.
Maybe Michael can read the other parts to you, but we're at level 2. That means ICBMs are being fueled up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
That means subs are at launch depth.
Yeah, everything's on standby, ready.
Yeah,
standby ready.
On the butt.
And that's the part that I fear. I don't trust this administration. They could false flag an event, as they have through the United States in the past. These particular elites, and say that Putin fired the first shot, and that's why I put up several weeks ago, if not more, who fired the first shot, because I knew it was going to go back and forth, and I knew there was going to be retaliation. Why? Because our elites of our government are in bed with Ukraine. Look at the laptop. Look at the old puppet disaster. I mean, we know Smokey Joe is like, two more.
What it comes down to is the Democrats and the globalists support the Ukraine, and they hate Putin. They hate him because he doesn't go along with that crap. Now, as far as false flag, like you're saying, I mean, we've been watching it every day on the news for the last 2 years, right? I mean, with this whole COVID scandal.
What's his name down in Ukraine? What's his name down in Ukraine? Zelensky?
Oh, that guy. Yeah. What's weird is he actually made a show years ago where he's a comedian, but he played in a show that he pretended to be the president of Ukraine. I mean, you can't even make this shit up.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy, but I don't believe Russians going in there to just wipe everybody out and kill children. And this is the kind of feedback I'm getting online. That
right.
How do you support? Why would you say that when they're killing children and women? No, listen. I mean, United States. We've heard the same old song and dance. We went into Libya and completely destroyed Libya, and Hillary Clinton, as head of the State Department, laughed about it. We got her on tapes and emails that it was a big joke that they took down that whole regime. Now, Gaddafi, that ruled Libya, actually, they took him down because he was trying to make a whole entire continent free from American money. They wanted their own currency backed by gold, and the United States wasn't going to have none of that. You're not pulling apart from us. You're not going to have your own control of your money and your gold. That really is probably why they took down the regime. And when they did, they left a void there, which the terrorists just moved in, and now we know that Libya is controlled by terrorist organizations.
Yes.
We did, and then what did we went into Iraq, we went into Afghanistan. We didn't, Putin's doing nothing different than we've done before. But here we are going, oh my gosh, and like you said, Michael, if anybody's listening or people are listening, what Michael said makes chills go on my arms, goosebumps. This is a DEFCON 2. Anytime you have two big boys playing on the block, something could go wrong. And I don't trust the administration. Michael, you just said it.
And you have to reflect back to the disaster in Afghanistan. Who played a part to the first? That was the first hint of more to come.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have all that narrative and what happened, and the fact that we leave our military equipment, which means we have insider deals with people. Now you have Ukraine, where our government has more insider deals with, the UN and Davos, the world globalists, the elites, the power, the money, the control, the Swiss banks. These are the ones who facilitate and create the direction, which you could basically really pinpoint it more to Davos, because that's who they are, that's what they represent, and that's who has been behind a lot of the initiations of plans. But this isn't our first rodeo here. There was Afghanistan was all selected placement, and it was set to go that way. There were deals made. Now we're in Ukraine, and let's face it, Joe's deep in bed with him, with Hunter, the laptop, and more. And there's many.
Boy,
How many people
deep in
are
bed.
right? And how many people are on the board of directors that sit with? You got Kerry's son. Is it Romney's son that there? Nancy Pelosi's.
Yeah.
So
Their whole,
why do you think they need these missiles aimed at Russia right now? This is the fear. They're going to say something happened here. That's even the biggest fear. They're going to say something occurred, and we had to respond.
It's scary because, Mike, we know they're cornered rats.
Yes.
We have exposed them as Americans, and we've been diligent. We have exposed their corruption, and they are in a corner. We know that the elections are coming up pretty soon. They know it. They know their time. They put it all out there, and I wouldn't be shocked if they got us into a bad situation over there, which I don't think Putin is out to take over Europe. That's what I'm hearing online. People are, he's going to go for another country next, and I don't buy that.
It's not about country. It's about globalist.
It's about globalism. They don't want to. That's right. So we're in a hot spot as Americans right now. I drove to work today, and just as I do, I approached a couple people that I just don't know and just mentioned it. How do you feel about us being in Defcon 2? And they said, what is a Defcon?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm just going, wow, we're in a lot of trouble. And then when I explained what a Defcon was to them, they're like, oh, no, that can't be real. And I says, well, let me show you an article that was put out by the Pentagon this morning. And they go, wow, well, Putin is starting all this stuff. The United States is going to defend itself. And I'm going, oh, my God, we are in so much trouble because
yes, we are.
The media has pushed this propaganda. Now, Russia has its own propaganda. We have heard in the last 24 hours that Ukrainian soldiers are doing well. They're kicking the Russians' butts. That's really probably not. That's not true.
They're nowhere near the Russians.
No,
they're not.
There has been some resistance in pockets, but for the majority, the Russians are going wherever they want, and they haven't completely engulfed that country, which they could easily. This is not about taking countries or land. This is about, like you said, Michael, it's about fighting tyranny, global, which you can't blame them. Wokeism. So what's going to happen? We got theories. Mike's got theories. I got theories. I know that China is sitting back waiting and probably drooling right now.
Oh, yeah.
At the fact of Taiwan. I'm just afraid this Biden administration, which is really not Biden, he's the puppet, but the Obama-Biden administration could get us into possibly a nuclear exchange, which would be
devastating. Yeah, that would be devastating. We would have that's if you think the virus was bad, that part of it would be much worse. And again, we're not here to put and direct fear into your minds, people out in America. That's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to analyze, talk, have a responsible discussion, but putting out some facts and trying to do what you're doing, analyze it the best we can, and that's what everybody should
Right.
do. But we are faced with a government
I mean,
who wants to
nobody in the
depopulate us.
news- Nobody in the news is saying what Michael and me are saying right now. Nobody, guys.
No, they won't
You'll
talk
never
about this.
Flip the channels and see that. But it is true, and you can look it up, and we've posted some articles. We are in Defcon 2, which is if something was to happen, that they got cornered in a box, or it was a mistake, okay? When you're talking about Defcon 2, you're talking submarines are sitting in a preemptive strike position off the coasts. With the supersonic missiles that they have right now, those things would reach land in 15 minutes, which means wherever you're at when it's announced, you won't even make it home.
No.
So this is a dangerous game. I don't believe that Putin has the intentions of doing this. I think that the globalists are playing right into his hands. That's my personal belief. But anytime you have two big boys on the block, it's dangerous. Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. And one of the worries, I think, if it really comes down to it too, is China being perfectly honest with the United States, because honestly, they want to be a world leader. They really do. They want to make sure the West goes down, and they want to stand strong. And I think, if anything, the issues that we have in the corruption of governments is how many of these people really talk sidebar without, uh, recordings and more. Because think about this: if Russia was to get in any serious kind of a problem, and China felt that they were a benefit to grow, to become a global strength, and knock America down, we would have. Then we.
They would take. Yes, they would totally take advantages, and that's what I try to talk to a lot of the millennials and such to try to explain to them, because a lot of them don't understand history. But China is in this for the long haul, and China is a communist country, and so is Russia. Russia knows that if they help China to take down the United States, they probably going to be on the chopping block next. But they are communists, and if push came to shove, you can bet China will get involved. If it's an all-out war, as a modern-day war, which would be pushing buttons, nuclear weapons, yes, it would be. You know what? It would kill everything on this planet for many years to come. Even if you survive a blast, the survivors would be wandering around like zombies for a year or two, dying from
radiation poisoning.
I'm not trying to scare everybody, but this is actually what is in the news. The Pentagon announced this morning that they put our military forces on Defcon 2, which is finger on the button. I mean, I don't know if, Mike, if you got something where you could read what the actual definition of Defcon 2 is. I'm actually driving, so I can't Google it, but it is a ready state for war. It is nuclear subs positioning, scrambling bombers. It's a huge deal. Okay, so we haven't been in this position in the United States since the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Right.
So that's the last time we've been at DEFCON 2. And when I seen that this morning, I was just floored. I'm going, if Biden's going to get us killed. Now, let's just hope that Putin plays it right, does what he needs to do. And listen, Putin, I got to say, probably the Biden administration is so fearful of Putin. Think about all the information they can get in when they go into there, when they go to those sites and computer systems. They can find a lot of dirt on Biden. Everything's there. I mean, all the deals, all the network systems of pedos, which, from what I understand, there's a lot of talk about it. That is one of the major countries of human trafficking.
Yeah, it's huge. It is.
So,
And you know what? I wouldn't doubt that we don't have a missile aimed right at the middle of Ukraine.
You're probably right.
So, I mean, this is a matter of survival and protection for these globalists, without a doubt. And this is Joe Obama's way of giving Putin the opportunity now to back down and just go home, or all hell's going to break loose. And more likely, look, everybody knows the condition of Joe already. It's, we don't have to give out any awards for, his mental state. But the point is, they're going to make it look like it was Joe's call. Camilla's probably in one of the duns somewhere. You know what I mean? Hiding her ass out. And for all we know, they're already taking people out. Why? Because the truckers are coming to Washington? Doubtful. But remember, remember, everything that's going on is making this and bringing forth this critical push of what we're seeing. Look, again, just to be clear to anybody who's listening tonight, first off, let me say this. My guest this evening that called in is, I got to AKA him. I'll let you, I don't know who he wants to be tonight, but sometimes he's Richard Scott, sometimes, but you know what? You got to hide behind if you have source. So anyway, and I'm Michael Anthony, and what's important of what we're talking about tonight is the Defcon 2 alert and warning that went out this morning. And that puts us in readiness, full readiness, ready to fire when called upon. And that saddens me, because we're in a global war of many different obstacles and narratives. But this one here, what makes it so hard to really analyze this, in my mind, Richard, is the fact that we're looking at so many different narratives, so much corruption. Who's protecting who? What element? And then, what Kim Jong going to smoke a joint, come out and say, well, everyone else is firing, I'll hit my button. Are we going to go button crazy here? What's going to happen?
Well, and that China's just sitting and watching everything, because they are going to make their move too, and that's going to be a big one. The whole trucker thing, you brought that up. I think it's great. I think the Americans, cheering them on, and there's a lot of guys over there, but I don't know if that's going to do anything. It's good for our morale.
Right.
I would hope that something would come out of it. I thought about it for quite a while, and I was always hoping that the truckers would join the longshoremen and just, park your truck at home for 2 weeks. I mean, shut down the whole country. Don't put yourself in jeopardy. Just stay home. 2 weeks. Sorry, I got the COVID. I got the coof.
Yeah.
The devastation that would really wake some people up. But it also would kind of put some of our people at home in jeopardy, because, a couple days of the supplies running out, people freak. But
well, I just learned, just to give everybody a heads up, and it was mentioned on the in the chatter box, it's taking 45 minutes for the trucks to pass through the underpasses, and that's not all trucks. That's one path of trucks. That doesn't mean that they all have collaborated off all the other interstates to join in yet. So this convoy is also seeing some local police putting on sirens, awaiting them and escorting them through their territories of, or cities, rural areas.
I love it. It's so patriotic. I recently moved over to Arizona, and off the 40 is before Kingman is a small town, and the truckers all lined up over there, and they spent the night because they're on their way over to join the other truckers. Well, one of the gas stations refused to give them diesel. So many hundreds of people called the owners and corporate to that place that they turned it on. And then a local store owner put a sign out, any truckers, free pizza. He just sling pizza all day. And that's Americana right there. That is our roots to support these people. I see people out on the freeway bridges. I see people on the side of the road waving their flags. We want justice. I think a lot of people could
well, we
see the corruption.
Yeah, we do. And I mean, when you talk about how all these elements are, we are at a war at the border. And it's not just a war of illegals coming in for our lives, our wives, and our jobs. Men, get patriotic with me here, brothers. Get patriotic. Because, and honestly, I don't mean that they're going to take them, but you know what? These are scary people that they're letting into this country. And there doesn't always have to be a missile being aimed or a gun at somebody's head. They're doing it with drugs and paraphernalia to help you do the drugs. That's the Biden administration, which Beth reminded me just a second ago where we are and what they're giving out. But they are, because I saw it firsthand happen in front of a place where I'm there, and they do have these packages. Like, I understand it when people were shooting dope and stuff, and there was all these people with hepatitis and all this stuff.
Have you got to, Mike, sorry to interrupt you. Have you got to see one of those packages?
I actually did, yeah.
Oh, you got to tell the listeners about that. That is the most unbelievable thing.
It looks exactly like the video. There's a video out there that's all over the place, and they're exactly like it.
So it's a package containing
a see-through package.
Explain to us, Mike.
It's a see-through package with like a glass. I don't crack it, so I don't know exactly, but you could tell that it was some type of Pyrex type of instrument that would accept crack.
Cleaning kit? Was it a cleaning kit? And
yeah.
A glass tube?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a few things in it. I could only make out what I could see in the guy's hand, and there was a lady there too also. And guess what? They were in white cars with blue government plates.
Oh my God. You know what? Any listeners out there, or if I can come across it, I'm going to try to get a hold of one of those.
I don't know why I didn't take it. They were free.
Mike, you should have.
I choked, man. I choked.
Hang it up in your studio. These are some incredible times we're living. I could never imagine, even as a kid. And I actually went on the Art Bell show when I was a young teenager, and called in. He had a show about the borders, and this was when our borders weren't so. And one of the things that I brought up was, if the borders are not secure, how easy would it be for a terrorist organization to smuggle dirty bomb right up through San Diego or Arizona or Texas and go to a major city and let this thing off?
Well, listen, they're already in the United States.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there is something more to the picture.
Right.
There's something more to this whole picture. This was all a setup. There's no doubt about it. Nothing about anything that has happened.
Yes.
It's all been a setup.
But, as Americans, we're like, hey, we're tough, we're strong, our communities, hey, I got guns, we're Americans. We could do something about that. Yes, if something's on the homeland soil. But this whole thing with Russia, I'm not afraid of Russia. I'm afraid of our own administration.
Exactly.
Starting a false flag.
Yeah.
They got nothing to lose right now. And you know what? Here's something I wanted to touch on real quick, Mike, was me for the last few years, and you've seen it, I've seen it, whoever's listening, we've seen the elitists moving out of the country to the Bahamas, moving away, building bunkers. Like they knew something's been coming up for the last few years. They've spent enormous amounts of money on these underground bunkers in their homes. They know something's coming up.
I think a lot of people knew a lot of things, and nobody spoke enough on them.
Because look at all these guys that have fled the country. Now, you had a caller on before I called in, and I caught a glimpse of it. She was talking about maybe her money for the safe in the bank. I didn't get to catch it all, Mike, but I'm pulling my money out 100% because, and Mike, you are, I hate to say it, bro, but you're in a target spot right now.
Oh, thank you.
Right? It's not a good word, but you are putting out information that is correct, and when you start getting over the target, that's when it's the most dangerous. And it sounds like and I say we because I go on the show with you, we've been quite over the target lately, and we're getting some eyebrows. They're starting to kind of watch. So, but we need all Americans to do that. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your cousins. All this information. I mean, without it, we're going off of the narrative of the news, which they're pushing their own agenda.
And here's another agenda that's important. And I know you look into this. I already know you do, but just to remind you, don't forget the part of the dark web and the deep state and our government and who created it. Our own government, DARPA, was part of this, just as they were with Facebook and more. You can buy and sell guns there, drugs, sex, porn, and it basically is a hideaway for criminals. But you can actually buy people. And it's more protected than Facebook is. And this is who our government is and who they have been. So this is nothing new. I mean,
we got some good people in the government. We have some good people. Because me and Mike aren't saying everybody's corrupted, but the people that are running our FBI, Department of Justice, at the top, these people are a mafia. It's a crime family. You start messing with them too hard, you probably disappear. Look at all the bodies are on the Clintons.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how do you commit suicide and shoot yourself twice?
Yeah, I know.
You zipped your own body bag up. I mean, it's crazy. So, but the light is turned on now to the Patriots. There's millions of Mikes and Riches out there because we're all starting to see the light, and that's what we got to do. There's numbers and strength. If we all wake up to this, they can't beat us. They cannot beat us.
Well, we're not in that position no more, brother. I'm. You know what? I love you, but I can't agree with you there. I mean, we come to surpass that scenario. We really have, dude. Look where we're at, Defcon.
You know what, Mike, I think I'm living in a kind of a denial because I want to believe that we can still push this. I've heard some very respectable people that I love,
right?
And one of them's you. That says, we're not coming out of this. And I hope that that's wrong. I hope that we can get it back. I hope that we can have some peaceful times. But Mike, you're right. I mean, I'm scared to death, but we're in a bad spot, man. Bad. And I don't want to freak everybody out, but like I said at the beginning of the show,
look, they want to do this, so brother, listen. And the only way they can accomplish their mission for the globalists to control everything of we the people is to continue in some way to shut America down more. Go back to the lockdown. The lockdown allowed the globalists to make more money than they ever could imagine that they could have made, and they did.
Mike, how easy would it to blame Russia if we had an EMP blast right now? If the grid went down?
Yeah.
Russians.
Well, they would again. That would be a hack. And believe me, it would be blamed upon a hack. And if that would occur,
martial law.
Exactly. And would Biden freak out, or Joe Obama? The crew, the Nuthouse crew up there, right. What would they do? Where would they stand in this? And they would.
And I think that the awake Americans like us would be freaking, but I think a lot of the society would just go, well, okay, this is our normal now. We're in lockdown. We're in our martial law.
What we need to do is put out some information really fast that say destroy the nukes. I mean, really, destroy the nukes.
Yeah. We got to get a handle on this.
We don't have one on it. That's the problem. Look, this is way beyond. This is the wake-up call. This is the wake-up call that's going to wake up the sheep who have been waiting in the background saying cognitive dissonance, and their eyes have circles rolling around like the Twilight Zone because this was all too big. It couldn't have been true. Well, you know what? Let one of these shots go off and watch how fast all these other motherfuckers in this world stand up and say, what the fuck is going on, because that's what it's going to take to get into their goddamn heads. And I'm sick of being nice and sugarcoating that part, because every once in a while an F-bomb's good for the soul. But that's the goddamn truth of this shit. And, you know...
Yeah, we're deep shit. And it might take, I hate to say it, Mike, you know, it might take a nuclear explosion to
wake
people up. But you're talking about thousands of ICBMs. Now, we have some really good technology. We can shoot a lot of them down, but we're not going to get them all. There's gonna be enough to hit here to destroy this whole country.
Yeah. And they have enough implants here already, because they're in every element of government. I mean, look who Trudeau is. Okay, look at these implants; they're everywhere, and their families are in everywhere. And in 2017, Klaus Schwab said, "We have our young in; they're in place." So that's how long ago that this has happened.
What was that Congress? There's still a guy running in Congress that was sleeping with a Chinese.
And that's all over the place too. And yeah, they're married to them. They're in bed with them.
And he runs our defense.
And that's why I'm telling you, we really, I hate to say it like this, man. I hate to say it like this, but by the time we wake up, they're going to have too many control mechanisms over us.
You called it about a long time ago, Mike. At a certain point, if we don't wake up, it's going to be too late. And we might have gone past that. We're in a lot of trouble now. Can something change it? Can something happen? Sure. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm afraid. I'm not really afraid of anything.
I'm going to throw something. I'm going to throw something at you. I'm sorry for interrupting, but you know we're both anxious. We're both pissed off.
We're passionate. Yeah, it's scary as shit.
Could Trump pick up the phone and call Putin and say, "Look, you know, we don't need a world disaster." Who has the ability to get to Putin? That's what we have to look at. Who can actually intercede here? It's not going to be the predecessors of presidents, because every goddamn one of them is tied into the United Nations and Davos and more. One of the last things the old man Bush said was New World Order before he died. I mean, come on, you know.
He's not going to deal with any of them because they're completely sold out to the globalists. The question with Trump is great. Michael Savage interviewed Trump a couple weeks ago, went on his show, and he asked him the same question. And Trump said, yes, he could. Yes, he could. He goes, yes, I could talk to him, and I know that we could make some differences. The problem is, he said they have him on he just has very little powers right now. He just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, there was a point in time we had a dual presidency, but they strategized our military, and you know they just let 47 more soldiers go in the last 48 hours or 72 hours over the fact that they were not going to accept the mandate. I mean, these guys are unfair. You want me to serve to be unfair one way, but yet you want to stick something in my arm that could kill me the other way. No, they'll take their chances, but they let them go. They dismissed. So they're still dismissing people. Now, that's only one report that's gotten out. And I guarantee you the numbers are much higher than that. They are depleting our military.
How much of our military is so woke? How are they going to be able to fight?
I don't know. When you walk with like Mr. Fancy Pants or Mrs.
Right.
Or he said, she said, bull, whatever. I don't want to get ignorant, but no, there is an ideology. There's an ideology going on in the military that doesn't make any sense. You know, I mean, and it doesn't. And our own military probably is questioning all this more than we even realize by far. And they are. But the problem is, how do you fight your own government? They're in the same position. How do you fight your own government? We can't even fight them correctly right enough.
I mean, there's some things that I would love to say right now, but I don't feel like being locked up tonight.
Don't get locked up.
But I will kind of hint at this, and you guys could probably relate to what I'm saying. if this country gets tied up into a foreign affair, conventional warfare, I would say that they're going to stretch themselves very thin. And I think that the people in the United States have had enough, and it could change this country. I won't go any further than that.
All right, I'm going to go a step further than you, but not in a bad way, I don't think. But look, where we are right now, we don't agree that the United States is taking the actions that they are and allowing themselves to get so deeply involved in something that could probably get corrected if it was under normalcy. But there's nothing normal here when there's corruption and illegal doings going on, and one's trying to protect himself. If they are to unleash, forget America as we know it, in my opinion. All right. Why is that? Well, you know what? They're going to do then whatever it takes to destroy, to seek to destroy America more, because they don't want to hear about any more elections, because they already know we're winning there. We're making a difference. We're voicing ourselves. We're getting information out there. We're exposing them. And then, we're also tying people's hands behind their back to make sure we have lawful voting measures in place. Nothing is going their way. When it doesn't go their way, they get involved in a narrative. They create a narrative, or, they'll pretend to have one. And they let them. Exactly. And, that goes back from the time the Rockefellers, when you really think about it, they hijacked the oil, the pharma, the media, and medicines to change the world treatments and how America would function. These were all devices.
Many people profit off war.
Oh,
it doesn't matter who wins or loses. They profit.
That's the only reason why we have war. I would say 90% of anything that's happened globally is the introduction for testing and methods, so they understood to get us to this particular place and point, without a doubt. And I'm not saying that there wasn't some things that were probably necessary, but where doesn't the United States stick their nose up somebody's ass and make it their business how to control it, but yet they can't control their own business?
And if our true president was in power, we wouldn't have these problems at all right now. Nope. Trump did win and was stolen from him, but if Trump was in there, no, we wouldn't have any of these problems. Now, Mike, did you hear today, and I got this from, I live here in San Diego right now, guys, because I'm not moved to Arizona, but a lot of the guys at my work are Latino, and they got a lot of relatives over the border, and we're getting so many reports from across the border on Telemundo and different news channels in Mexico that Argentina sent troops, Mexico sent troops,
right?
Brazil sent troops, Canada sent troops. All these troops are going over there, guys, and American troops are on their way over there. This is a nightmare scenario.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, our troops are going to go as far as Poland, and they're going to be at a guard at the border. But nevertheless,
trust the administration. They can sit on that border, but they can also do the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah.
And just like Vietnam. I mean, we know they lie to us, they cheat, they steal, and anytime you got troops like that with each other, it's dangerous. It is freaky. So anything could happen at this point. I don't believe. People were telling me today online, oh, well, Putin's going to take other countries. He's not going to stop there. That's not his intentions, and I don't believe at all that's his intentions. He's not going to run into Poland. He's not doing a Hitler.
No, that's not the agenda here.
His country against these globalist takeover.
That's
what he's doing.
Yeah.
He doesn't want wokeism in his country, and we're moving in mobile nuclear weapons over there. I would be furious too, right on this border. So,
again, look,
as a patriot, I gotta say this. I know this is gonna piss people off, but
piss us off. We don't care.
Well, Putin's fighting my enemy, and I'm a patriot, so I'm not against Putin right now. Sorry, I know people are going to be mad at me for that.
I'm not. I agree.
I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Somebody stood up.
My enemy is the deep state, the global elitist, the democratic nasty swamp, and Putin ain't taking shit from them right now.
No.
So he's with me, and I believe in the hearts of all those truckers and all those people up in Canada and here. We're all fighting the same thing, and he's fighting it too.
Right.
That's my opinion. I know that probably does make people mad. I would love to see what some of your listeners are saying in the chat room. I hope I'm not offending anybody.
No, it's pretty mild. It's pretty mild, brother.
What I feel, you know.
No, I hear you. Well, somebody thinks Barack is the Antichrist, and maybe in ways he is. I mean, they're trying.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Father Malachi, which was one of the smartest dudes ever, you know, was a Jesuit for many years, right-hand man to 3 popes. He wrote several books, and he had come out and said, the Antichrist is here. And he's here with a smile, and you would never know who he is, but he's pushing all the buttons in the background. Whoever made that comment, that could be very possibly true. We know this comes from Obama. Obama never left Washington.
No, he's the source.
Didn't he buy a house?
Yeah. 3 blocks away.
Right. No president in history does that, right? When they're done, they go to their retreats. They don't stay in Washington because this is Obama's 3rd term.
Yeah.
Biden is I'm sorry. It's really elderly abuse. I never liked him when he was young. But now at this point, it's elderly abuse. It's disgusting to me that they can push that guy. That teleprompter.
I still believe he has enough brains to understand that he's lying his support where he wants it to be, and you're seeing all the true colors come on. But now we're in a different place. We're in a place again that's can be very devastating for the United States in many ways, because if we get into this, if these types of things happen, you're going to have no choice under martial laws and more as to where and who you can shop and how far you can travel. And you know what? They've already placed us in areas and scenarios just like that. They've already got the cameras up worldwide. They already got the rectifiers up for 5+G. They can actually enhance it to 9, which will give you sickness feelings just like COVID.
I hear China's running on 6 and 7Gs in certain areas. That's what was rumored. I can't confirm that, guys, but Mike's right. Remember the lockdowns that we had, the little COVID lockdowns where the streets were empty? Oh, that's nothing compared to what a martial law lockdown would be. You wouldn't move. You wouldn't travel. You wouldn't be jumping in your car and heading out of state. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So, are we close to that? Yeah, we could be. It could happen tomorrow.
Right.
We're that close to it.
Right, and don't doubt you could go down the street and see one of our U.S. Army military personnel trucks coming down, filled with illegal immigrants in the back with guns and rifles who look like they're from Afghanistan. Get my drift? Right. If you don't think we're set up, people are sadly mistaken.
To go on that with you, Mike, Americans always hesitate on killing Americans, but foreigners have no problem with it. So that's a scenario that is very likely that you just pointed out, which, I have seen on a first-hand basis when I went to visit a FEMA camp. It was covered with Czechoslovakians. You know what I mean? They won't hesitate. Americans will have a problem killing Americans, but it will happen. There's a lot of they've weeded out all the good folks in the military. A lot of them are retired, and they've weaned out anybody deemed to be a Trump supporter, a patriot. It's sick. It's how are you going to have a mechanized human? How are you going to have a force to be reckoned with when you've weeded everything down? And not to mention, we had standards at our boot camps. Well, those standards have gone way down because, and I'm not bashing on anything because a lot of women do great in the military, and there is examples of it. But when you lower the level of what needs to be done to qualify to even get in there, you weaken the entire force. I doubt the Chinese are doing that. They're not lowering their standards of their boot camp to get in because you're a male, a female, a cross-gender, whatever you are. They have a standard, and if you can meet that, you're a hardcore soldier.
Hey, let me
forces come up.
give me 1 second here. Let me direct something out there. B, I'm talking directly to you. I don't have a clue what you're asking me here. You really don't. So you blocked me from groups and comments out there? No. If you left the group, you need to be brought back into them. So apologies if there's some misunderstanding. We invite you to everything, but you tend to leave them all, so we don't re-invite. Nothing intentional. We just feel that it's a negativity on the groups. Not that you're a negative person, but we want to respect your privacy, B. This is nothing intentional. I developed these groups and Beth takes care of a lot of this stuff as well as a few other people. And they're just trying to monitor everything, but keep it with good high expectations and positivity of strength. If we invite somebody in and 5 minutes later they choose to leave, or the next day, and it's done repeatedly, we don't know hey, what do we do? Do we re-invite him in? It's like, I don't know. I guess he's just not down with everything we do or what all our messages are. This is nothing intentional to you, brother. You must be hearing me out there because you're writing me this way, sidebarring me. And I'm right here for you. That's not the case. All you need to do is get a hold of Beth and say, hey, I want back in. I was busy, misunderstanding. It's fine. I'm digging the groups. That's the positivity we're looking for. The same as I'll say this for you right now. I know B, okay? And I know B is from Pittsburgh. And he's opening up a business, landscape services and more. Power washings. I back him 100%. I don't know what's going on here. If anybody can employ him, check into him. Please look under America Products. Another page that I have. There's not a page I don't have because there's support methods for everything we do for Patriot Madness. It's about we got to reach everybody on every level, and including you, B. You're not out by any far. I don't understand where we're at. I apologize to you now publicly in front of everybody. I'm not mad at you. You're welcome back in. Contact Beth, and I'm sure she'll do all the appropriate things to re-invite you out. Back in. Sorry, not out, but in. Maybe it's Facebook doing it. I don't know. But yeah, I don't like to get things like that where people think I'm trying to disrespect them. I don't do that. I'm on here to try to help everybody, man, and give them strength all the way I can. Because I am concerned about America. We are in crisis. And now we are facing a red button war. And I'm not digging it. I ain't digging it at all. I mean, I want a place of safety for children and for future. And for mothers, fathers, the elderly. I don't want people, being under a constant lockdown the rest of their life. And we're headed to this. And we need more people to wake up. But the problem is, we are so far into this at this point. If they start making these moves, they're never going to let us out of them because we escaped the pandemic. We really did. And they know they can go down from it. And they'll do everything they can to protect themselves. They're never going to put out their hands and say, here, take me. Lock. I'm holding out my arms. You can't see it, but I'm holding like, here, handcuff me, charge me for treason, charge me for crimes on humanity, like Como. Where's he? What's going on with that? I mean, we have a lot of people we can go after, and why? And there are a lot of good people going after people, but still nobody's going after people. We're not getting any resolve. We're just not.
No, we're not getting any. We're not.
How much has Marjorie said recently? No, I'm just saying, people's hands are tied for some reason. They can't even talk to us about it.
What they'll do is they go after you. They'll go after
or somebody close.
Your bank accounts. They use this intimidation that is just, they'll ruin you.
They will.
And the small guys like us in numbers, I ain't got nothing to worry. I don't care. I'm American. I'm going to speak out. This is my First Amendment. I know a lot of these politicians in higher places are they will go after him to a certain degree. But even Trump, love him to death. At a certain point, I'm sure that he's been told, shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse my language.
No, I believe it.
This is what they did was they put their key people in all these positions everywhere. This is a huge ordeal. And now they have grasp. But we are more than them. We can take it back. It would take a long time. We're on our roots to do it, but they're winning. And right now, we're in such a bad position. Mike, we could go to bed tonight, and I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's that bad. We're just keep getting over and over.
You hit the nail on the head. They do everything in the cover of darkness.
Oh, they do. They do. And you know what? I kind of looked at something, and I'm not a extremely religious guy, but I do, but I'm not like, some of my friends are, but it seems like evil has to show you in your face before they do it. They can't help themselves because all the stuff that we are talking about, they've already said it before and rubbed it in our face. So I start to wonder, is there a rule in the devil's way, the demon's way, the dark ways, whatever you want to call it, that they must tell us in our face before they do it? Because that's what it seems like, Mike. Because we look at all this information we're getting, right? Nothing's really changed from 2 or 3 years ago. We were feeling the same way 2 or 3 years ago. What we were doing is trying to tell people about, like, oh, that's conspiratorial. Oh, that's,
It keeps us in divide, brother. It keeps us in divide.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not now. Nothing is conspiratorial. All that shit's coming true. So when we say that there could be a martial law, a complete lockdown, a complete takeover, send you to camps, look how close we have come from saying that now to saying that a few years ago. You said that a few years ago. Let's go back 10 years ago. You start talking about that, people call you loony.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I was out there talking about stuff because I was doing things and paying attention to the ones who I could trust, like Jesse Ventura and that, Alex Jones, and more and better, Levin. I mean, we had great voices in America who foreseen some of the things, but where were they getting their information from? The conspiracies, and you know what? The light shines upon them now because people like.
Mike, can I ask you a personal question, kind of?
Oh, I don't know, man. Are you straight?
Well, yeah. Well, Mike, do you believe that this is good versus evil as far as God versus the devil?
Yes. This is higher than humanism. It's beyond that. It's
spiritual battles. Yeah.
Well, all books have been written by man. Let's face that. Okay. Some of the most ancient things that we know, Sumerian and more, depict a lot of things and say a lot of things. Okay. But we do know that there are artifacts out there much older than that, but they are at the Vatican hidden. They're not going to ever let us see them. They're never going to let us get wind of them. There's a lot of truth behind them. But if you talking from the spiritual facet, what the hell are they drinking adrenochrome for, torturing children for, and to panics and horrific fears, and then taking the blood from them and drinking it? Why are they eating children? Why is this sick? Because there is something that they know in this fabric that they find that we don't even want to comprehend, but it's factual. It's called cognitive dissonance because the truth is so big you have to believe the freaking lie, but that's the truth. And why would Donald Trump promote everything I just said for me? Because he has.
Well,
which
So-
tells me Donald knew a lot of things, a lot of things. Again, I'm just
I think
saying.
so.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm not picking. I'm not picking on nobody. This
We know that we do know, and it's been said. You probably know way more about it than me, but some of these people actually get power from worshiping this dark side.
Bohemian
They
Grove.
Yes, there's an example right there. Anybody that's been anybody has been there.
I bet you a lot of people don't even know what Bohemian Grove is or what it means.
Tell them, Mikey. Tell them what it is. Because maybe some of your listeners don't know, but I'll start it for you if you want. It's a retreat in Northern California.
Yeah.
It is held. I believe it's held every 5 years, but it could be more than that. They have. I'll say it online. I'll say it on here, but
well, try to use a different. Yeah.
Okay,
you know what? It's a destructive pattern of the sickest things you could think of.
Yeah, they have orgy type parties. Now this is a male club, male only.
Not true.
Well,
There was a point.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think now it's changed, but for many years they considered a male club. They do some weird demonic type chanting there, weird paganist type ceremonies where there's a large owl there, and I think the dark forces do worship this big owl. I can't remember the name of it. It's well known in the dark world. This owl, it's huge. And every time they do an event, at the end they put a baby on the bottom of it. Now we don't know if it's a real baby or not, but it sure looks real. And they burn it.
Yeah.
They jump around in these robes, chanting these weird Latin things. But now you're talking about elitists there. These are all people from all around the world, the richest people, the most powerful people. And it's almost like they worship to this dark god. Does it give them strength? Well, and parts of the Bible say that they can gain strength from the beast of worship him, but in the end they're gonna lose. But right now, I think United States, where we're at, in the world, not just United States, I think evil is ruling right now.
Didn't Gilgamesh leave some writings pertaining to the factors of this? And I think it connects to what people don't realize is the Masonic order is truly, when you get into the high rank, is truly satanic. And that's where all these hand gestures and more come from. Black eyes, hand gestures,
That's right.
Positions and pause. To be a Mason is not what you think it means to be.
No.
By any means.
Right now, the Knights Templar has broken up into 2 sections, and they are battling with the Masons. It's very crazy right now in that underworld. There's a new Knights Templar that is going back to the old ways to fight these guys. So it's just, in a biblical sense, if you really stood back at the world and looked at it, we're in deep shit. I mean, it looks like to me, and like I said from the beginning, I'm not a real religious guy, but I'm good friends with people, and they are like, hey, this is evil. This is the devil. We're fighting good against evil right now. And
I came to a conclusion. I came to a conclusion on something when I was researching the Ark of Gabriel in Antarctic, and I was talking to a young lady on a show the other night about it. Beautiful lady, Jen W. And she really is. She's so pure at heart. And sometimes I say things that I think I upset her, but I just try to share facts of knowledge the best way I can. I'm going to blow your mind for a second here. I truly am.
Tell me.
The Ark of the Covenant. And we know that there's been many of them. And
they said there is, yes. Yeah.
These might be the power these might be the power supplies to the pyramids.
Could be.
because we had to take the Ark of Gabriel to Antarctic, where the Russian Pope had to do and follow some instructions that were sent from the Vatican, because they didn't know how to handle it and they wanted to do it appropriately, because anybody that got near to it died from radiation poisoning very quickly, and it had to be placed.
There's a lot of documentation on that. There's a possibility of a source of radiation, because you're right, that has been written many times, that supposedly the stones that Moses brought down are in that covenant, in the Ark of the Covenant.
Nobody knows truly what's in the Ark of the Covenant, and some of them have been disguised, reproduced, and the real ones stolen and replaced by, and people didn't even know it happened. So what I can say is we know that I can't think of his name, found one in a tunnel. Yeah, my brain's at a freeze right now. Apologies to everybody.
Doesn't it say, Mike, that whatever's in that is unworldly, and that any army that carried it is invincible?
It's weaponry. It's technology of some sort. It's of something beyond that we know, and I'm just wondering if it's part of the element of that, because these pyramids are much older anyway, and I don't want to get into all that. Yeah, I really don't. I want to keep people focused on where we are, but it's just, a hypothesis and something that was shared through Michael on Conflict, and I was like, he blew my mind. I'm like, you know what? I'd given some thoughts as power sources, but what would it have been used for? And when he said pyramid, it was like, bing, 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 bing. This red lights go off. The sirens are going off in my head. And I'm like, oh my freaking God, I love that, because you know what? There's a place inside it that it would fit. If you figure out the cubics, it would fit perfectly there. And maybe then, and this is where I'm thinking this is so secretive and why they're doing it under the ice and put the Ark of Gabriel up there, because they knew it was the real deal, because the death that came upon everybody that came in any kind of contact with it.
And that is documented.
Yep. Yes, yeah, it is documented. Yeah, it definitely is. But anyway, just to get back here,
so if you got any new people in the room, it's
Ron Wyatt. Somebody just posted. Ron Wyatt found. You're exactly right. Thank you for that. That was my brain freeze there. I do my homework, but I'm getting older. I do forget a lot, and I don't mean that I forget a lot on purpose. I think Michael needs some kind of different vitamin. I mean, I tried my best, but no, I'm going through something and I know it. Well, it said that he found the Ark. There are some pictures out there. It also said that he dealt with two otherworldly beings that were guarding it until the purpose of the new temple was built. And it could not be touched or moved. But he laid eyes on it. He laid eyes on them. It's in his right. Don't forget, he found the Ark. He found chariots in the ocean. I mean, if anything, this guy hit the lottery more than anybody on the planet when it came to anything. Right. Well, we can only speculate they were angels, but of what source were they? I don't know. Corky's making some comments here. Thank you for bringing that in. And that's true facts on the story as to how it goes. I don't know if you know a lot about that, but look into Ron Wyatt. If you don't, it's pretty impressive. It really is. And some of the histories and legacies, the traveling with his sons, his ongoings, they kept pretty good documentations of everything. Yeah.
Well, you said it, Mike, that all the Bibles were written by man, but they were inspired by a higher being. Right?
Well, no. I'm not saying that at all, because I don't even have anything there yet. I don't. Hi, beautiful. How are you, Lindsay? No, listen.
But is that kind of your theory on it?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure enough to want to make comment on it yet, and that's the truth. I'm just not. Ask me again. Maybe I'll try.
Well, I just right now there's no middle ground to me, and I try to tell people, hey, and somebody put a comment out the other day about the truckers.
Right.
You're either with us or you're our enemy, because right now there's really no gray area. It's light and dark. We have some forces against us in this country right now that would love to see us gone. And they put it in our face. If you go back and just look at, the Georgia Guidestones, for instance, they don't want us to be here. There's too many people. These cornered rats, these Democrat globalists, I think are drooling right now at the fact of a war with Russia.
Yes, because it keeps them in. It keeps them in plan. It keeps their agenda for 2030 in plan. This is why I'm trying to really sound off this warning here. How important that this is in this moment in time, right now.
Whoever's just tuning in, we are at Defcon 2. Peace is 5, and it goes to 1. 1 is basically global thermonuclear war, the end of this freaking planet. And right now we were at 2, and that's what we're discussing tonight. And I was scared to death when I heard it today. And this came straight from the Pentagon. It's circulating around. I guess even they tried to question Biden today. How do you feel about the United States in a nuclear war? And he just walked away. He won't even comment. But when the Pentagon comes out and says that we're at DEFCON 2, and we discussed at the beginning, that means all of our subs are poised in launch positions.
Right.
Our strategic forces are on the move. We have bombers scrambled. Our satellites are positioning lasers or whatever type of stuff we have.
Our borders are wide open.
And our borders, this is insane.
It is, but you know what? It would keep them on track for the Agenda 2030. Depopulation, fathom, loss of food and water, shortages on every level. And then you have the big conspiracy from the conspiracy terrorist, me himself, climate weaponry. There is no, listen, directional weaponry, energy directional weaponry, climate weaponry, it is weaponry. And I know for a fact now that they are connecting to the nanoparticles pathogenics.
That is a scary freaking thought. Now you're talking about...
Listen, they've tested this before, but they perfected it now.
Mike, so that suggests that half the population has these particles in them?
Yes. We're breathing them in. There's nothing we can do about it.
That is...
Trump wanted out of all this climate, but he didn't have the power to get out of it. The planes were up every day he was in office. Instead of putting his military at these facilities and said, do not let these planes take off, he couldn't even do it.
All right. You know what? Mind-blowing stuff that we're discussing. Mind-blowing. It's just... I've got goosebumps. I'm not kidding you. We're that much in trouble. We're that much in trouble, and I don't know a way out of it. Mike, do you feel that there's a possible, even if Putin backs out of things, that our government could possibly shut our electricity down and say that it was a hack from Russia and put us in a complete martial law and take over everything? Because elections are coming.
Yeah,
and people are figuring it out. Is that a possibility that you've?
Well, of course, because then ballots at home would have to be the only possible way to hold an election.
Mm-hmm. And did you hear about a new program that's supposedly used, not Dominion, which we all know that is the most corrupt, but now a new one that I hear that it was it's a Soros sponsored computer system.
Well, of course, and why not? From what better of a person could it come from? We know that's an element that we don't want to deal with, and we'll object to it. But the bottom line is this: in the direction that we're in now, and facing what the possibility of someone hitting the button, it's lays a lot out on the table, and not in good ways by far. Not in good ways by far. The possibilities are endless here. But what we do know is they condition us for everything to come, and they have never not taken place because they put something in place. Remember that. Every wave came. It didn't matter. And when they said to us, these areas were most likely to be more infected than others. Well, how would they know unless they were delivering it to the entirety of the city somehow?
Unless they were doing it. Correct. Now, we have seen, I know this is kind of changing it off a little bit, as far as these jabs, the stronger Republican areas have got different doses than
they're tainted,
areas of more controlled. Now, and we've seen this. This is not a conspiratorial thing. We know this, and that's come out.
Yeah. Well, remember, it's a direct attack to we the people, and they know it, because if they go after red, they're killing the vote while they build a platform for a vote, the illegals and more, and of course the New World Order securing it for years to come, and it will be slavery, which we already live in.
We look back at history. When you see these things that have happened, because history tends to repeat itself, and a lot of people forget history. Me and you don't, but I know there's a lot of people that don't. But there is a lot that do forget history.
Many weren't taught history.
To get it back, when you lose it, it always ends in blood, and it's a shameful thing. But if they put martial law on us and they lock us all down, they're not taking them. They're not giving it back. People will accept that. A lot of people will say I'm getting blown up on my phone.
You better start sharing then. They probably want to know where you are so they can keep track of you. But look, right. I guess we could kind of end this verbalization by saying, look, from me, my stand, they're not going to stop because they're already losing control. When they create a narrative, they usually fulfill a narrative. That's the scary part but the agenda is much bigger. It's for global control. It's for global control. They want you to eat less meat. They want to kill our vegetation. They are killing it. They're killing trees. They're doing more. We are having catastrophic worldwide changes, and people aren't even recognizing it. Who recognizes it is us trying to share to people how large this scenario and narrative is that is, within this disruption of their plan, but of disrupting us. I can't even say it right. Pisses me off, but it's the truth,
Well, I hope that you can get me back on, because Mike, there's so much to talk about, and every day is there's more information, and it's just scary. It's just getting scarier and scarier and scarier. And I know lots of people that are very concerned. Well, I don't have the answers, but we can analyze it. We can put out what we know, and this whole Defcon thing scares me to death. Man. It really does. Just the fact that we're at that point. They announced it this morning. They're holding their finger on the button. That's some scary stuff, man.
That's more than scary.
Mike, thank you for having me on. I hope I can come on again and do some more stuff with you, because there's so much.
Well, you got a lot of platforms that love you, so I mean that doesn't mean I won't. Of course I will. You know that. We're in a place right now where conversation helps heal a little bit and creates positivity, even though we're not the cure. We're not the cure, but we could be public awareness.
But there is a lot of false narratives running out there, and we got to try to stay focused with each other and look at the facts. Russia's the bad, Russia's the evil. I hope that people can take a look back and understand that Russia is fighting the globalist, the patriots' enemy. So hopefully this can help a few people, and they tell their friends to have a different look at it. Is communist good? No, I don't like no commies. But our enemy is fighting our enemy, and the enemy is within now. We're in a lot of trouble. I appreciate it, Mike.
No problem, brother.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Always.
Have a good night.
All right. Take care. Thank you, Richard. So look, yeah, all right. Getting back to all this, yeah, we are in a place now where we should really be worried. A lot of people may not know, but there's no easy way to say it. There's no easy way to share the news. These people want to protect their interest. They want to protect Biden. Biden wants to make it look like it's all because of what Russia's done. Russia just wants to say, mind your own business and let me continue what I'm doing. He wants to protect his country. He doesn't believe in a one world order. The citizens over there are not in the position that the media is leading everybody to believe. Is there fear over there? Of course. Why? Because people are in the dark. They're in the dark because they're suffocating people with false narratives, false truths. There's not as much going on over there as people think. Ukraine military is handing guns to people like Antifa in that country. They have a different name. As soon as I can find it out, I'll share it with you. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Long day at work, wanting to come in, wanting to talk because of all the mail I got, and I kind of knew where I was going to go tonight. But here, it's a mixed agenda of bullshit, and that's exactly what it is. So if this happens, it goes without saying. They condition us before they do it. Something will probably happen, something we don't want to see. Maybe it'll be over there. As long as it applies to depopulation, it's going to fit their narrative. Maybe it will be more catastrophic for Russia and Ukraine. Maybe the United States won't be so much affected. I don't know. But when you have Joe Obama presidency here, where you have a couple presidents up there, accepting dictations from the dictators, they're placing us in the position of all this. And there's much more of it. Anyway, I wanted to come on tonight as I did and just, cover some of this with you guys. As far as your money's in the bank, you know what, truthfully, I don't want to scare anybody, but do you really trust these banks? That's who is functioning this entirety. And money's only going to be good for its constituents. We're not part of that. If you look at the agenda, we're nowhere near part of it. We're a disruption to it. The Georgia Guidestones put out much claim to that. And what happens when they turn the 5G plus system up to 7, where it manipulates and causes havoc in one's own mind? And we know that these waves work. They tested them in military defense equipment. So nobody can tell me that's not true. We know about the rod of God, the space program, Reagan. We tested it. We know it works. We know how devastating it could be. The possibility that 9/11 was also hit by them waves is very, very possible. Look at the concrete, powder. No explosive creates powders. Disintegrates it to powder dust. Think about it. So we know that works. And we also have the climate. And that's a tactic of weather and warfare and how they can get to us if they want to get to us. And their position is not to truly help us, but be the good hands people, as I used to say a few months back. Like the good neighbor, State Farm's there, be the part of the good hands people. Anything to make you believe that they're the best out there and you're safe with them. Meanwhile, they send something over your house, anything could happen. I'm going to talk to more about that on this upcoming weekend, about what this weaponry system is, what it means. The solar radiation management programs is truly what it stands for. So understand the truth behind these patents. It stands climate weather weaponry is warfare with the name of solar radiation management. Okay. And that's the truth. It's sick and it's sad. And here we are in this place. So prayers to the world, because that's what we need at this point in time, without a doubt. We need prayers for the world. Pray for your America, because America's looking pretty bad. And we don't need this, but again, we don't control it. And it makes one speechless. It really does. So anyway, thanks for joining in. I'll, if anything happens, I'll come back on. It's not that I'm, to try to help, talk, share. You can call in, stress, your viewpoints politically, whatever they are. Because honestly, I just want the platform to be a better voice for you and for you to talk. And, I love challenges. I like good intellectual conversations. So bring them forth. I'm always here for you. And support your group, support your family, support your health. Read everything, read every label. Be cautious. Don't trust anybody. Question everything. That's where we are, honestly. So anyway, you guys have a great night. I'll be close by. If anybody wants to send me any private messages or whatever, if I can answer you tonight, I will. Most likely. I don't know if I will be able to, because some message, they can come in hundreds of times. They really can. But thanks for having me on with you guys tonight, bringing me into your home. I appreciate it. Studio 10 o'clock Talks, Michael Anthony. Please, if you can help share, get the word out there. Defcon 2. That means we're ready to press a button. That's how serious this is, and it's sad. Men are locked in silos. I'm sorry I missed that, Corky. Somehow I missed it, or it just showed up. Jen W., how are you, dear? I talked about you tonight, just so you know, if you're still on there, just so you know. Guys, have a great night. Hopefully you have a peaceful night. Take care.